Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. My name is Ryan, aka the Ryman, and I am back in Ryman's bizarre adventures in Katawa Shoujo. Where did I last leave off? Oh yeah, the last time we left off, we were about to go visit our wonderful friend, the doctor, or the nurse, or whatever his standing is in the school. I don't know, I just give him a horrible Jamaican accent. I stand unmoving in the front of the door to the nurse's office for what feels like at least a dozen minutes or so. Did you even bother to knock? That's my question, Hisao. It's not like I never entered the small beige room before, nor is it because of any feeling of childlike anxiety over the visit. Maybe it's because the nurse office is akin to a confessional, an admission that my body is full. What? No. What? No. What? No. What? No. An admission that my body is flawed. The knowledge that such a fact is kept entirely confidential between the nurse and me hardly lessens the feeling. Remembering that the bell to signal the end of the lunch break will sound soon, I give a sigh and open the door. The burden will stay with me just this while longer. For anyone... about to have to apologize to so many people out there for this accent, but here we go! Well, now, if it isn't Nakai, good to see you, little brother. I lied, I don't apologize. Oh, bad, I guess, considering that I'm a nurse. He gives a small laugh, amused at his little joke. I find his humor lacking and somewhat off, but the fact that he can make light of such a situation is perhaps comforting, or at least distracting. His brief episode of entertainment over, he claps his hands together and gets down to business. I take a seat as he gestures for me to do so. I wish the classrooms had seats this comfortable. I can feel my mind wandering as my eyes quickly scan the room, distracted by the small changes since I last came. Is there one of those posters that are telling me to hang in there? Alrighty, so what brings you here? I haven't seen you often, so I assume your health's been good so far? I wish I knew there was a question mark at the end of this sentence ahead of time. I really need to pre-read lines before I go out. It made me sound so awkward. Well, mostly. Mostly. Saying mostly has been ruined because of aliens. Don't lie. Everyone out there does it. I see. His smile drops as I trail off. I feel slightly guilty about it. It's these moments where I can't rationally call myself normal that make me so reluctant to see the nurse. They're an admission that I'm different from anyone else. How long have we fucking been here now, Hisao? Enough with this crap. You have arrhythmia. Who gives a flying fuck? Oh, your heart beats abnormally. Tell that to the schmuck with no legs at this school. Or the one chick born without eyes. It's really weird. While I was on a trip during the long weekend, I had a few problems with my heart. You fucked your brains out and you nearly killed yourself over it. He hums very seriously and nods as he does so, urging me to go on. He's smiling all while he does this. He's entertained by this. I think it was as I was walking a fairly long distance. I think the right term for it is a heart flutter. I suddenly went weak at the knees and felt almost like I was having a small heart attack. But it passed in about half a minute. That's called love. Never mind. Even afterward, though, I felt pretty fatigued and nauseous. The fuck is on my couch? The fuck are you? Get out of here. Sorry about that. Not good. Not good at all. That was how many days ago exactly? Did you do anything unusual, aside from exerting yourself before the episode? Were you taking your medication properly?
No, I wasn't. Lie, Hisao. Lie!
The nurse switches from awkward jokester to serious health professional mode, rattling off questions, making notes, and calling up stuff on his computer. I tell him about forgetting. Oh, here it comes. We're gonna get fucking scolded by the nurse, like from when you go to the dentist and they ask you how often do you fucking floss. And the preceding evening. It was a stupid thing to do, but I can't change anything about it now, except answer honestly and bite the bullet. His seriousness evolves into a frown, and the talk evolves into an instant checkup. Oh, we don't have to sit through all the ball coddling and coughing. Okay. I finished buttoning up my shirt and again get... This entire scene can be taken horribly out of context. I finished buttoning up my shirt and again get motioned to take a seat in front of the nurse. Is this the first heart problem you've had since coming to Yamaku? The accent has slipped into I don't know what it is anymore, and I think we also nearly died when you sent us running with the lolly. I've had short pains in my chest before, just a couple of times, but they were more discomfort than anything else. He leans back in his chair, briefly resembling a white-coated parrot that knows over the mysterious case of heart flutter, moving his lips from side to side to show he's thinking. His non-existent mustache wiggling. His non-existent mustache wiggling? What? He eventually comes to a conclusion. Well, you survived it. That's always on the plus side. I blink at this one, then notice the nurse wearing his got you face. It's actually somewhat reassuring. I don't think he would crack jokes if things were really serious. Bullshit. A doctor will joke about cancer if he could. So I keep silent and take my lumps. I'll have a talk with your doctor, but right now, I suspect it's simply due to physical exertion. Have you been keeping up with regular light exercises like I directed you to, little brother? Lie, Hisao! He will send us back to the lolly! I make sure to walk a reasonable amount every day. It's usually enough to work up a bit of a sweat, but then again, it's not really as fit as I used to be. That should be enough then. The main thing to keep in mind is to do regular low-stress exercise, not short bursts of sprinting and such. You sent us running! Do you remember this, nurse? Someone go back in the episode of this season, then go back again in season 1. This nurse is trying to kill us. Like any other fucking medical professional, they're trying to secretly kill you. I understand. Since leaving the hospital, I've been a lot more focused on my studies, partly to take my mind off not being able to do more physical things. So I become a huge nerd. It's good to hear you're coping well. Sudden lifestyle changes can be hard at the best of times, so I'm pleased to hear that you sound like you have everything in order. Almost everything, that is. Don't worry, Don, I'm nearly done with this part, probably, I think. I don't know. So you don't have to hear the accent. For the folks at home who have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, Don likes to occasionally listen to one of my Katawa Shoujo episodes to lull him to sleep with the sound of my voice. It's like some kind of sick, twisted ASMR session for him. I can't explain it. Nevertheless, I want to keep a close eye on you for a while, just for observation's sake. Just to make sure things aren't going downhill. You understand, brother? That's something I really didn't want to hear. Since coming to Yamaku, all I've wanted to do is live a normal life as possible. Observation. was one of those words I came to hate most during my hospital stay. For so long, I felt as if I could just walk straight out of the hospital doors if not for that observation the doctors wanted so dearly. Sure! Should I come in more often? He checks the calendar next to his computer, which seems to inflict on him a nasty case of a furrowed brow. He spins back towards me after that. The summer holidays are a bit of a pain, considering the timing. I'll check with your doctor to try and get a better handle on the situation and see how he wants to proceed. But I think you should just take things slowly and carefully for now. What you're describing doesn't immediately sound like a recurring event, but it won't hurt to slow down a bit for a while, just to make sure. What should I do for today? He looks over my shoulder at the clock hanging over the door. I never have noticed if it hadn't followed his gaze. It's nearly time for school to be over, so you might as well just leave early. Fuck yeah! We're ditching out! Pop smoke! We're getting out of here! I know a lot of people out there say pop smoke, as just a way of saying to get out of an undesirable situation. But I think you should actually pop smoke. I would just go walk back into the classroom, walk back into the classroom, actually pop a smoke grenade and just bail out the window. That's how you exit a room. Either that or a concussion grenade. Never mind. He gives me a sly wink, making sure that I understand he's doing me a favor. Well, nurse's orders. Thanks! That's what I'm here for, after all. I know you might not want to hear this, but you can't ignore your condition. Thanks, Doc. I didn't know that. Don't hesitate to see me if you have any further problems, or if you just have anything you want to ask. Bye! He spins around and gets back to typing on the computer in front of him. I suppose I'll just read before waiting for Lily by the gate, considering I don't have much else to do. Even as I leave, his work... I'm sorry. I had this stupid thought that Hisao should just get a little computer for himself, and to help fill in the downtime, he should just be... he should just do fucking video game commentary like I do. And I could just see it now. He'd be live streaming, and he'd be playing fucking Outlast or some other bullshit. He just jump scares, heart attacks, and dies on the screen. That's terrible. Where's that ending in this game? Is that on one of the secret routes? Even as I leave, his words echo in my mind. My condition isn't something as limiting as many others here at Yamako, but I don't want to be a burden Lily was thinking about. Click, damn it. If I just live a normal life and avoid any sharp shocks, I should be okay. I won't let my condition rule me. I'm not handicapped. I'm handicapped. Oh, we're swinging for the fences in this one. Lily comes into view soon after the bells heralding the end of the school day ring out. She says farewell to a number of her classmates heading in the other direction, before beginning her weekly trip to Before beginning her weekly trip to the convenience store. Afternoon, Lily. The immediate warm smile and relaxed demeanor she assumes upon noticing my presence are unexpectedly welcome. Hello, Hisao. Good afternoon to you, too. She hesitates for a second, but eventually deigns to tilt her face forward and close her eyes. My lips meet hers with a measure of slight trepidation before we move off, hand in hand. It's so wonderful. We couldn't afford the bit of art to depict that, so we're just gonna have Lily close her eyes again on screen. The fact that we're so close in height is somewhat useful at times, there being no need for either of us to turn our heads upwards or downwards in order to meet the others. It doesn't take much time to leave the noise of the other students far behind us, tapping Lily's cane in her free hand, the only sound to be heard. Silence, blissful silence, is all that greets us while we slowly walk into the setting sun's light. The line like that, you could have fucking ended this whole story here. That's beautiful. I think I'm coming to really like this town. The huge, green, hilly expanse, the trees everywhere, the somewhat rustic little building. Sorry, I had a twitch at the word rustic. It's work-related, I don't want to get into that story now, but... If you ever do a construction gig, and one of the projects on the flip property, not flip house, flip property, involves building something to look rustic, fucking run. That's all I'm going to say for now. So you've come to appreciate the tranquility of it as well? I think so. I come from a metropolitan city near Tokyo, so the quiet of this town really alienated me when I first arrived. After a while, it became really nice, though. I think I prefer it to the hustle and bustle of my home city now. While I prefer the quiet of such a rural town, even when I first arrived, I suppose I had the advantage of growing up in a quiet area before I came. You know, that's how the cycle really goes. You know, you grow up and you live in a city, and then you go out to the country for the first time. It's like, yeah, I really prefer this. And then you stay there, and then the next generation is born and grows up in the quiet rural areas. Excuse me, my brain just lapsed for a second. Areas, and then they go to the city and be like, yeah, I like the hustle and bustle more, and it keeps going and going. Hanako said the surroundings are very pretty too. Lily may say such a thing quite easily, but each time she mentions how others describe sights around her as beautiful or pretty, I feel a little put off. Yeah, we should take her to David Copperfield to make her feel better. I notice her expression becoming one of anticipation for some question or another. She always has a good sense for when somebody's not saying something that's on their mind, so I might as well speak up. I was kind of wondering, how to put this. Do you ever regret that you can't see what things look like for yourself? It's just something I've been thinking about. She thinks carefully for a time. Do you ever regret that you can't hear people whispering on the other side of the room? Actually, no, because with my hearing, I can. If I actually focus on something, I can fucking hear it. Other than that, if I'm not paying attention, it just comes off as the usual whisper and mumble, and that's something people really fucking do around me, and it's annoying, and they keep mumbling at me, because I've been told I have good hearing. So they assume if they just like, no. But yeah, sometimes if I concentrate, I can fucking hear what you're saying on the other side of the room. People are assholes when they think they can't hear you. I can only speak for myself, but the fact that I can't see is the only way I've experienced life. Just as I cannot do something you can't do something that I'm capable of. The fact that the world is made for those who are sighted can be a pain sometimes, but there are many, many people who suffer much more than I because of the way the world is. That doesn't make sense, but still, it just feels kind of bad to describe something that you can't experience to you. What? She tilts her head quizzically, as if I just said something that makes very little sense at all. What? But I can experience it. Oh yeah, through her heightened hearing, smell, taste, feeling with her fingers and all that. You just said it yourself that you like this area because of the way the surroundings are. I like this area for the same reasons. Thanks to the fact that there's a small, rustic town surrounded by trees, it gives some peace and quiet away from the din at school and the bustle, not to mention the smells of the city. No, not in the Lily voice. I suppose it would also be much like the home she shared with Akira as well. Her outlook on it seems pretty sensible, but I'm not surprised that she's got a much better handle on her particular condition than I do on mine. Just like how her coming to a location somewhat similar to Yamaku's surroundings let her become more acclimatized in a shorter time. Being born blind affected her stance, by her own admission. I should stop being so annoyed with myself over it, but I can't shake the feeling that I've depended on Lily far too much, given the circumstances most have to deal with in Yamaku. That makes a lot of sense. You're pretty good at explaining, as always. Come to think of it, where's Hanako anyway? She was with us for lunch. It seems she's busy studying, the exams are far from over, and she says she wants to do better this year than the last. Well, I admire her work ethic. She really's been trying to give us a lot of room alone recently. She's that type of person, I think. The kind that puts others' needs above her own at every chance. She's a sweet girl, even though so much has hurt her in the past. I don't know. I feel like it's only now, when she's less close to me than ever, that she's truly finding herself. It was thanks to you that she began to become more confident, after all, not me. I take my hand from hers and gently place it on her head. We're gonna pat her head? The important thing is that you were there for her. I can't imagine what she'd be like without you having found someone like you. That much became obvious while you were in Scotland. We're all still friends, so we just got to have faith in her. I think she'll become a good person, and that much is thanks to you being there for her when she most needed it. Just as you were there for me. It makes me feel a bit childish when you sound so wise. It makes me feel shocked. Well, I try. Are you doing anything on the weekend by any chance? Nothing that comes to mind. Why? Then how about a date on Sunday? It'd be something to do besides exam preparation. Countering my rapidly beating heart, she simply smiles and nods. That would be lovely. Where would you like to go? Let's see. Based on all the locations we've been in the past, we have the city, we have the tea house, we have the city, and we have the city. We might go to the antique shop in the city. Her face suddenly changes to one of disapproval. You can't do that, Hisao. That's cheating. Do what? A gentleman should never ask a lady where to have a date, nor should we ever ask you where the fuck you want to eat. Her smile quickly comes back, assuring me that she's far from serious. Don't worry about it. I'll think about it where we could go. I'll leave it to you then. I promise to decide on the next date, though. We'll go to the movies. with our plans for the weekend. I hear Jurassic Park's still playing. The rest of the walk down the hill continues in silence. The prospect of that lasting for any length of time, however, is shattered as I catch sight of a familiar figure waiting for us, her hand held high. Hey! Yo! You couldn't see it because I don't have a camera on, as always. But my head, like, tilted to the side in, like, anticipation. It was like, who the fuck could it be? Storewoman, not doing a voice for you. Fuck that. Fuck it, I'm gonna do a voice. I'm gonna lose whatever viewers I have left because I'm gonna be deemed an insensitive asshole. Thank you, please come again. Yes, I'm terrible. You don't need to tell me. The change in temperature as I step outside from the convenience store sends a chill up my spine. It feels like summer starting to wind down. Looking to my side, the same feeling seems to affect Lily as well. Though unlike me, she doesn't manage to hide the fact. Something I didn't realize at first was how physically delicate she is, even compared to the likes of Hanako. If I had to describe her, I'd have to say that she reminds me of a China doll. What the fuck was that? Akira walks up behind her and gives her a couple of hard pats on her shoulder, much to Lily's concentration. Concentration. I'm an idiot. Consternation. For a moment, she looks as envious of my status as an only child as I am of their close relationship. They talk between themselves for a few moments as I sort out my bags. Their voice is too low for me to catch, but eventually they break off and we begin the walk back to school. The conversation was probably like, "Bitch, I will cut you." It feels good to be out of that damned office. You kids don't know how good you have it here. Kids. You too. Who then? Kids grow up so fast nowadays. You're not old enough to say that. I am! I don't know. Being around Hideki... I think I said that right. Being around Hideki makes me feel damned old. He's so precocious, he reminds me of you when you were younger. I can't read. Shut up, I know. And yet I'm doing a whole fucking playthrough involving reading. He's a nice boy. It would be a shame if Shizune comes to have too much of an influence on him. I would already throw him in a vat of napalm and light it up. But, that's me. Akira gives an amused snort at her sister's antipathy. She really doesn't seem to regard it as anything to make a serious fuss about, treating it more like a childhood spat. She looks over to me, apparently only just remembering that I'm here, and gives a small grin as she reaches towards her back pocket. You giving me money? Are we going to get money? What is it? Just a sec. Let me dig it out. After quite some difficulty, she manages to retrieve her black leather wallet from her back pocket, quickly fishing out what looks like a folded square of paper. If it's not money, are you giving me your number? What's going on here? With Lily all but unaware of what's happening, Akira unfolds the scrap and hands it to me. The fuck am I... Who the fuck is that in the center? Is the woman in the center serving booze? An old photo of what looks to be a younger Lily and Shizune. Lily and Shizune operating a noodle stall with some other girl in the background. She looks vaguely familiar, but I can't quite pinpoint why. She's serving booze. Chest is like popping out at me, but you know what? Is this gonna be another girl? This girl's gonna come up at some point, and she is probably gonna be another secret route. I'm calling secret route girl. Cause wha-bam! What is it, Akira? I think you know. Lily mulls this over for a few moments before a realization dawns on her. Akira, you really needn't. It's fine, isn't it? Besides, it's like the only photo I have of you two since you entered Yamaku, where you were not at each other's throats. And we're not going to address who the new girl is in the center. I look back down at the photo in my hand. It doesn't seem strange to see Lily and Shizune working together so diligently, without any sign of animosity. The photos of them during Yamaku's festival. That means it must have been taken 1 or 2 years ago. In other words, the time when they were both in student council together. Serving pasta with booze. Oh, okay. Who's the girl in the back? She looks kind of familiar. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my. I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm going down. This is it. This is it. I'm assuming the fucking field position. Oh, there's my guitar pick. I was wondering where the fuck that went. No. You can't have that be me after I said that. This is how I die. This is how I fucking die. I can't anymore. I can't. No. Rowdy, you gotta take over. No, I can't. The rest of the fucking playthrough is gonna be done by the skeleton dachshund rocks, the skeleton dachshund Rowdy. I can't anymore. I can't fucking do this to me. Take me home, Satan. I'm done. What's my time? The time is now. The time is not. What the fuck? Get out of here, Rowdy. I appreciate the attempted assist, but son of a bitch, I'm putting the headphones back in. Putting the fucking headphones back in. Alright. Let's fucking do. Why? I knew you wouldn't recognize her. It's me, Chip. Why couldn't you write names before I spot out lines? It's Misha before she went and dyed her hairpin. Before even the drills. It looks so normal. She looks so normal. that's Misha? Fuck me relentlessly! It feels extremely strange to see Misha without her so distinctive hairstyle. Judging Akira's tone, she doesn't take favorably to Misha's idea of fashion. Holy fuck, that's Misha? Is that Misha before Misha became Misha? Or that has to be Misha before Misha became Misha. That has to be Misha before she became Misha. It was like this horrible transformation. Like maybe she got hit by a bus. And that video's floating around on LiveLeak, and it turned her into Misha. The fuck? Yes, fuck. I already took a shower. I need to take another shower. I feel unclean. I feel horrible. I suppose the fact just accentuates how odd the situation looks. To think they were so friendly in the past. I wish I could do something to mend the relationship. I bet it was because Misha became Misha. Tore everyone apart. It's tearing me apart. You're being very quiet, Hisao. Yeah, because I'm looking at Misha and I said things and then I found out it was Misha. You'll be quiet too, Lily. It just feels so kind of strange to see all you so friendly like this. Lily moves to say something, but stops herself. In the end, this doesn't matter for me. It's between Shizune and Lily, and nobody else. We are going to do the right thing. We are going to do the Ryan thing. And we are going to mind our fucking business. And we need to burn this photo. Just burn my memories too. I'm glad not that many people watched the Katawa Shoujo playthrough. We're just gonna ignore this whole thing. Just ignore this episode. Things change, unfortunately. I hand the photo back to Akira, who sighs as she folds it up and slides it back into her wallet. A little memory quietly hidden away, to be pulled out again sometime later. Yeah, that they do. Initially, I think Akira's reaction would be simply in response to the situation between Lily and Shizune, but she looks oddly glum compared to what I'd expect. Lily's expression has clouded as well. What's wrong? It's just that I'll be going to Scotland fairly soon. Why? You're leaving for Scotland again? Who's dying this time? For a long moment, Akira looks surprised. It's an ill-fitting expression for her. After a glance at Lily, she turns back to me as if she'd never done so. Yeah, in a couple of weeks, I'll be leaving for Irvington to work at the company's headquarters. It's a pretty big jump in corporate position, and it's not a chance that's going to come again. So Akira's going to leave Japan on what seems to be a permanent basis. I can't help feeling that my assumption that we could all live happily while away our days, having fun in this isolated little world, is coming to an end. It's unsettling. I look at Lily, mildly surprised that she hasn't told me such a thing despite usually being so forthcoming. She continues to walk with her face fixedly pointed ahead. I can't read her expression, nor can I even guess what's on her mind, which is discomforting given how it's usually easy for me to do both. It reminds me of the time when we met at the Shanghai, just before what could be called our first date. At the time, all I could do was comfort her without knowing of the cause, and now it feels no different. As we finally reach the school's dormitories once again, there's a somewhat awkward silence. I don't think I'm the only one who feels it. See you tomorrow then, Lily. Bye, Akira. Good night, Hisao. See ya. And with that, they walk to the female dormitories. Open the door to the male dormitories. I stop and look back at them just moments before their figures disappear behind the heavy wooden door. That was a strange moment when Akira said she was leaving. While that wasn't the first time when my thoughts regarding my new life had been called into question, it's perhaps the first time to do quite so profoundly. I still don't know what to make of Akira's reaction, much less of Lily's. The night's chill reminds me to get back to my room before I catch something, my bag pulling down on my arms with seemingly a redoubted weight. If nothing else, I have a date with her set up for the weekend! I just need to stop overthinking stuff and get on with things as they are. The exams are still ongoing, after all, and with the trimesters and the summer's holidays beginning soon, there'll be plenty to keep me busy for a while. As I give a yawn and retreat inside, my thoughts turn to what Lily will decide to set as the location for our weekend rendezvous. Okay, that's the end of a chapter. I have seen things I cannot unseen. Where the fuck am I? I'm pretty sure this is about the last thing I had in mind when Lily said she'd decide where to have our date. No man nor woman is dressed in anything but their finest. Their formality only matched by that of their surroundings. Rich red wallpaper adorns the walls as the city lights far below flicker and glow. Combined with the ambient hum of quiet speech and high-pitched clattering of cutlery and wine glasses, the mood is very formal, yet relaxed enough for me not to feel too uptight despite this being our first real date. Once we get seated, our waiter leaves to attend the others with a quick bow, after an apprehensive nod from Lily. As far from depending on my help, Lily's managed to navigate herself around surprisingly easily so far, despite the unfamiliar environment. A little brush here and there, and she's generally quite deft to orienting herself as needed. Well, damn! My eyes look to Lily. I can tell from her face that she's listening to her surroundings just as hard as I'm looking. Well, damn! I think this is much better than previous pictures shown to me. I think with that I need to stop. Oh my god. Oh. We're gonna end the episode here. We're gonna have enough time in between this episode and the next to reflect on our lives. And I'll probably just keep my head submerged in a bucket full of water. Folks, if you had any enjoyment whatsoever watching/listening to me fumble my way through this story because I'm too retarded to read words in front of my face, at least correctly, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Follow the Facebook page to keep up with all the news and the content, and hop on board the Rhyman Gaming Discord channel to hang out with other like-minded and deranged individuals. Do all that to become an official member of the Rhyman Empire today. I need to go sit in the corner and fucking scream more. I gotta get out of here. Toodaloo, folks. Stay awesome out there. Adios.